No child, no teacher should ever be in danger in an American school.
Heartbreak, shock, and calls for action after 17 people were killed in another school shooting.
As Americans, we're failing our children. We're not keeping them safe.
Tonight, we're sharing the stories of the heroes, including a teacher and coach who put themselves between the gunmen and students.
Those two heroes gave their lives for our kids and probably helped prevent this from being a worse tragedy.
As soon as we went into the office, he started locking all the doors. He said, "Go hide."
The question no longer if this could happen here, but when, and the role that everyone plays in preventing another tragedy.
This nation, we need to see something and say something.
Tonight, the school shooting near Fort Lauderdale in Florida continues to dominate conversation here in Atlanta and across America as we ask ourselves, how has this happened again? 17 lives have been lost.
Among them, a football coach and teacher who put their own safety in jeopardy to protect students. And while we're just starting to learn the name of other victims, we know they include a teen named Jamie Guttenberg, whose parents wrote a heartbreaking message on Facebook describing how broken they feel after losing their baby girl. Their message to other parents tonight: hug your kids tight. A lot of discussion on our 11Alive Facebook page has focused on the possible warning signs surrounding the gunman, 19-year-old, a student, former student, who had been expelled and banned from campus.
And he appeared in court today, charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder, and was denied bond by the judge. Tonight, a white nationalist militia group claims that he was part of their group. We know both of the gunman's parents are deceased. They had died. His mother most recently passing away from pneumonia in November. She was suffering for many years, and now he has been staying with family friends. Law enforcement say that he posted several disturbing messages on Instagram showing him posing with guns. A Broward County commissioner says the teen had previously been treated at a mental health clinic, but he hadn't been there for more than a year. Here is how the teen's attorney described him earlier this afternoon.
He's sad, he's mournful, he's remorseful. He is fully aware of what is going on, and he's just a broken human being.
Well, tonight the shooting is raising questions here in Metro Atlanta about security in our own schools and how information about possible threats is relayed to authorities.
But before we get to that, we want to tell you more about the victims and the heroes of this incident. And they are really at the heart of this story. We have been overwhelmed by your support for those families as you share pictures, prayers, and well wishes for them on our Facebook page. Tonight, Melissa Long is taking a closer look at some of the people who most definitely saved lives yesterday.
Yeah,
Melissa?
they're the real heroes, Jeff. Aaron Feist, Melissa Falkowski, Scott Bagel, and Chris Hickson. Just a few of the heroes from that shooting at the high school in Parkland, Florida. Some of them really gave their lives so that the students could live. Aaron Feist was an alum, an assistant JV football coach for MS Douglas High School. He was also acting as a security guard for the school and then used his radio to alert other members of his staff, alert his colleagues about the shooting. Witnesses said he was shot multiple times, and that happened while he was shielding his kids, his students, from the gunman.
When Aaron Feist died, when he was killed, tragically, inhumanely, he did it protecting others. You can guarantee that, because that's who Aaron Feist was.
Then there was Melissa Falkowski, a language arts teacher. She survived the school shooting. She was somehow able to gather all 19 of her kids in the classroom and protect them from the chaos. She said the students had just been practicing that fire drill earlier in the day, but of course no one can be prepared for something like this.
They knew what to do. We knew what to do. And even still, even with that, we still have 17, casualties, 17 people that aren't going to return to their families. And to me, that's totally unacceptable.
A very young lady who was able to, again, protect 19 of her children, her students, by somehow hunkering down in the closet. Some really extraordinary people who will be remembered for their real heroism. Jeff, Jennifer.
Thank you, Melissa. A Marietta High School graduate is one of many parents in Parkland, Florida, who are praying for the recovery of their child. Missy Wilford's daughter, Maddie, was shot several times. Now her former high school classmates are working together to help this family during this time of need. 11Alive's Chris Hopper is in Cobb County.
Missy was her daughter's age here, right then, as her daughter is now.
Poncho Wilson is a friend of Missy Cantrell Wilford. The two graduated from Marietta High School in '91.
All of a sudden I get a text from her and she's like, I haven't heard from my daughter. And then the shooting happened. And then all of a sudden she texted me back and said that her daughter was involved. So it's killing me.
Missy says on Facebook her daughter Maddie was hit several times. The bullets pierced organs, crushed ribs, and caused significant blood loss. Maddie was expected to undergo a third surgery today.
You know, I just don't know what the world's coming to when I hear these kind of things.
Wilson and thousands of others in Marietta are banding together, sending their support to South Florida.
The thing is that I know the way Marietta is, and I know the way Blue Devils are, and I know that she's going to see a show of force and a show of love so great.
Robert Metters and other former classmates started a fundraising effort online that's well over $15,000 in just 24 hours.
I wanted to do something, but there's nothing to do, them being so far away, and it seemed like the only tangible thing I could do.
It's working. Dollars, well wishes, positive vibes are making their way to Parkland, Florida, where Maddie continues to fight for her life.
We're big around here at Marietta High School, Marietta City Schools, about family and tradition and taking care of our own.
The outpouring on social media proves that. Pictures, prayers, condolences litter Missy's page. Tonight, from hundreds of miles away, they're pulling for Maddie in any way they can.
She was my classmate, she's family, and it was the only thing I could do.
In Marietta, Chris Hopper, 11Alive News.
And with so many school shootings, it seems like the question is no longer if it could happen here, but the question is when. So what steps are being taken in our own Metro Atlanta school districts trying to protect children? Joe Hankey set out to get some answers. He joins us live tonight from Atlanta Public Schools District Office. Joe?
Well, Jeff, tonight I'm giving you a snapshot of what school. At DeKalb County's Barack Obama Elementary, security simply begins with locking every door during the school day.
Because our building is huge, we have to be very clear that visitors must enter through the front door.
Guests must be buzzed in at the front desk, a standard practice around the district. Once inside, staff can use master keys at several points around the building.
And you turn it, and it shuts off access to the hallway.
Cameras allow staff to see once an intruder is isolated, and then gates like this one are designed to corner the person off. They're in a few schools now and will be in all future DeKalb schools. Brand new to the district, a pilot program is bringing metal detectors to select campuses in DeKalb, and canines now make random visits to find weapons and drugs. Perhaps most important, DeKalb superintendent says is reacting to warning signs.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've seen, we've intervened in certain situations that we know we'd avoided a disaster.
Students, teachers, and parents are told if they see something, say something immediately.
You can't always act on that, but you can also prepare and position yourself in case something does take place.
And this afternoon, Atlanta Public Schools walked us through some of their security plans. It includes 70 sworn officers, metal detectors at middle and high schools, controlled access to buildings, and a staff constantly vetting information of possible threats. APS's head of safety and security is also planning to have her team make unannounced stops beginning this year at schools for drills.
Monitor, evaluate it, and sit down with the leadership staff to debrief what happened and how we could get better.
Law enforcement says that message of see something, say something is exactly what prevented a similar tragedy from happening here in Metro Atlanta. Just this past fall, a tipster alerted police to a possible situation involving Etowah High School. Thankfully, officers acted before anything could happen. John Sherrick is in Cherokee County to explain when we all need to speak up.
Parents, students everywhere trying to figure out when or whether to tell police about someone at school they think might be a potential threat.
In Florida, students are saying they weren't surprised to hear Nicholas Cruz is the shooting suspect arrested. Did anyone alert police to his social media posts focused on guns and violence? A tipster did tell the FBI this past September that someone named Nicholas Cruz posted on YouTube, "I'm going to be a professional school shooter." Was it the same person now accused of this latest school shooting? The FBI's Robert Lasky says agents investigated the tip back then, but
no other information was included with that comment, which would indicate a time, location, or the true identity of the person who made the comment.
So that investigation went no further. Unlike the tip Woodstock police got this past October, saying 2 students at Etowah High School in Cherokee County were plotting a murderous attack at the school. One of the students already had been posting on social media references to school violence, outrun my gun, and a bulletproof blanket seeks to shield kids during school shootings. And investigators say the other student wrote detailed plans for violence against the school in a journal. So Sheriff Frank Reynolds said he is sure the tip police received saved lives.
This would have been a Columbine-type incident. And this is what we want with our community. We want to have good cooperation and the opportunity to act on the information the citizens give us. And this is just a success story because of that.
Police say they'd rather get a tip about someone that doesn't pan out instead of not getting a tip that might save lives. In Cherokee County, John Sherrick, 11Alive News.
As we all try to wrap our minds around yet another school shooting, stories of those lost and the heroes have begun to emerge. You can read all about them on our website, 11alive.com. Just look for this story on the homepage.
I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11Alive Storm Trackers. We hit 70 degrees today. That is the first time since December 5th that we have been in the 70s, and we're going to do it again tomorrow. Another day in the lower 70s. We've got a good coverage of clouds around out there right now. Not much rain. There have been just a few raindrops around today. Nothing really major, and nothing major is moving our way for now. We've got this frontal boundary that is out to the west. That's going to be pushing our way during the day tomorrow. We'll see our rain chances coming up just a little bit tomorrow, up to about 30% chances for rain, and then still looking at that half and half weekend with a better chance for rain Saturday, lower chance for rain here on Sunday. But there you see it, 70 degrees right now in Atlanta, also 70 in Athens, 74 in Eatonton, 73 in LaGrange. On the north side, more 60s around, but Rome, you made it up to 70 degrees so far today. Stay with us. We're going to talk about those rain chances and how long these above average temperatures are going to stick around. We'll talk about that a little later.
We all like it warm. Thanks, Chris. Next at 5, a couple caught on video stealing a dog that was about to be adopted. Do you have any idea who they are?
A truck driver's only highway? Well, it may ease congestion, but is it worth the $2 billion price tag?